Hi, in this session you're going to learn about motile bacteria. Some bacteria are motile, meaning they can move through whatever media they're in. Some are not. You can use this characteristic as just one of a means of trying to identify an unknown bacteria. I often say trying to identify an unknown bacteria, it's like putting together a puzzle. You get all of these different little pieces, and all the pieces, when they're joined together, help you to identify and tell you what you have. So, like I say, some bacteria are motile, some are not. This is just one of the pieces of the puzzle. If a bacteria is motile, it's because it has the flagella that helps it to move. So how do you know if one's motile or not? The easiest way to do it is to grow the bacteria in a tube that has agar, but it's called a semi-soft agar. So we don't put it quite as high a concentration of agar as you normally would. Yes, it's still solid, but it's more kind of like the thickness of a kind of a thick jello or kind of a thick pudding. So the bacteria, if it's motile, can easily move through it. Like if the bacteria does not have flagella, it's not going to be motile. So the easiest way is just to inoculate a tube. I'll show you in a minute what that looks like. Another way you could do is to do a stain for flagella. You stain your specimen by placing the specimen on a microscope slide. You add the stain, and you're going to view it. It can be a little tricky to do the staining, but it is possible. So how do you identify or classify the bacteria if they do have flagella? There are different types of flagella, and the way they're going to be classified is their location. So if there's only one flagella, it's known as a monotrichous. Amphitrichous is when you have a flagella at each end of the bacteria, so you're going to have two of them, but they're at each end of it. The Dilophotrichous is where you have several flagella that are just at one end, but it's like a tuft. You have maybe three coming out, looks like from the same spot on the same end of the flagella. And then Paratrichous is where you have several flagella. They're all around the bacteria, not just on either end, but all around them. And so here is on this slide, this prepared slide, where you can see each one of these is an individual bacterium, and these little strands that are coming off of them, you can see some here and over on this side, those are the flagella. The Amphitrichous, see how you can see this, like on this one it's really evident, this nice strand here, and there's another one right over here. Now, like I say, you can do a stain and see if you can see the flagella. Sometimes that's trickier. A very easy way is to inoculate the semi-soft medium. So this is a picture. You can see it's just showing part of a test tube. It contained a semi-soft nutrient agar, which it just means it's a media that just about everything likes and can grow in it. And so a stab was done. This angle here where you can see this kind of cloudiness, that is where a stab was done with an inoculating needle. So it had been touched on the bacteria, and then the bacteria on the end of the needle were introduced by stabbing it into this media. You incubate it, let it grow, and then you look and observe the growth. If the growth is just along the stab line only, then that means that it's non-motile. If the growth, it's going to look kind of cloudy. If it extends way beyond the stab line, sometimes throughout the entire tube, then that means that it is motile. And like I say, you're going to do this as a means of just adding another piece to the puzzle, trying to figure out what is the organism that you have, what are some of the characteristics of it.